Hello everyone, it's me, Nikki. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. And today we have my September wrap-up. I read 5 books, 2 on audiobook. I mentioned I've been playing a lot of MMOs, and I just thought it was nice to be reading while I'm playing. So I've been listening to those. Let me get my... Yes, that's the right one. So we'll go into my stats. Oh, I read 6 books in September apparently. Alright. That is 1,235 pages, 15 hours. That's that. Oh, I guess I did. Oh well. I thought I read 5. I read 6. The thumbnail is now wrong, but I don't care to fix it. So we'll start with the audiobooks. Sure. I honestly don't remember. That's not great. Okay. I read... Oh, two of them were short, so I guess in my mind they converged. I read The Empress of Salt and Fortune. I will make sure to put that image up somewhere. And it is part of a series, and it was just like 2 hours, I think. Yeah, it was only 2 hours. It wasn't very long, but it was pretty good. I thought it was going to be horror-y. I don't know why I got that, but it is fantasy. It's LGBT, and it's really good. It's about a young princess. Well, it's like a story within a story. There's a term for that, but I can't remember it. But it's about a cleric, Chi, I believe, who goes off wandering with their companion, who's a bird. They're Nixon, which is like a bird thing. I'm not doing it justice. And she goes to, or they go to a, like a rundown temple type thing, and they meet an older woman who tells them a story about the Empress of Salt and Fortune, who was a young princess from the north of this Asian-inspired country. Pick whatever you want. Goes south for a political marriage, and it doesn't go well, obviously. And she is, the princess is shipped, she's actually the empress, she's shipped off to this little temple, and that's where the story gets going, and I won't tell you anymore, because, like I said, it's 2 hours audiobook. I don't even think it's just a novella. So yeah. And there are 5 books in total. I don't think, the only thing that interconnects them is Chi and their bird. And then I read, excuse me, A Prayer for the Crown Shy, which was Monk and Robot 2, which was 4 hours. Oh, I forgot what I gave that. I gave Empress of Salt and Fortune. Where is it? I gave that 4 stars, and I gave Prayer for Crown Shy also 4 stars. This is the sequel to A Psalm for the Wild Built. It is just continuing Dex and Mosscap's adventures. They have now moved into a population, and all of the civilians are like, oh my god, a robot. And Mosscap is like, oh my god, people. And then he meets a dog. Then I call him a him, but it goes by it. It meets a dog. It does what anybody would do if it met a dog, and it's fantastic. And I liked it. And I hope there's another one. And that is also LGBTQIA+. Then I listened to Fable by Adrian Young. I just realized I always do that. Prayer for the Crown Shy was by Becky Chambers, and The Empress of Salt and Fortune was by Ning Vo, I believe is how you pronounce that. I apologize. And Fable was by Adrian Young. It is also part of a series. And I gave it 3 stars. It is about Fable, who's 17, and her dad left her on this island when she... Gosh, I'm not sure how long she's been there. I can't remember. And then she gets off the island and goes with her newfound family and a guy named West, who she falls in love with. And it was okay. It was okay. I like the piratey stuff, and Fable does a lot of like diving. It's a specific word which I've forgotten. Dredger, I think, is what that particular talent is called. And I like the world. The Narrows was interesting, but the found family, it was, I don't know, I guess I thought it was a little weird, because, like, Fable gets on the ship, and the crew, there's only, like, 5 of them, I think. They don't really like her, and she's like, I don't want to be part of the crew. Me. I don't know anybody. And then it's like, okay, and then they're, like, all friends. I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really like the romance, because they both sort of ignored each other, and then they would talk, and then they'd be like, oh god, no. Because one of the rules of the world is, don't let people know how close you are to other people, so, like, what's the point of having a found family? So I don't know. But it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I'm not gonna continue the series. So yeah. Next, I read Scions of Shannara. This is the first book in the Heritage of Shannara quadrilogy. Quartet. And it basically tells you what it's about. It's been 300 years since the wish song of Shannara. Alanon's dead. The elves have vanished. The dwarves are enslaved, and there's this thing called the Federation. I think it was popping up in the wish song. It's basically humans, the race of men as they are called, doing what they do and enslaving other races and trying to take over the world. And it's Par, a cousin Ren, and a cousin Walker are all having dreams from Alanon, and they go to see him, and he goes, Par, you gotta go find the Sword of Shannara. Ren, go bring back the elves, and Walker, bring me back the druids. And they're like, what? But eventually I assume they're going to go do it because there's 3 more books in the series. But this one is mainly about Par. There is little Interjects is not the word I want her. Intercepts is not either. But there's other little bits from Ren's point of view or Walker's point of view, but it's mostly from Parr's point of view. And he has a brother, Cole, C-O-L-L, who doesn't have any magic. Parr has the Wish song, and it's really good. Ren doesn't think she has magic. I don't believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. And Walker knows he does, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. And there are, of course, your bad guys are back. They're called the Shadow N. They're creepy little thing. They're creepy. You meet one at early-ish, and then it's creepy. It's really creepy. And then Hotline is back from a Wish song, I believe, and you're like, what? So I loved it. You meet a lot of new characters. What's his name? Not Panamon. His descendant. I forgot whose name it also starts with a P. Padishar Creole is in this. You meet some lovely dwarves. And I don't know if I ever said this, but I do like that the dwarves when stuff happened, it's explained in the first trilogy, there's a race of men that went underground, and those evolved into the dwarves. And then when they came out, they were sick and tired of being underground, so they're now afraid of underground. I like that. That's a different, interesting take. The elves are not a race of men. They are friggin' elves, and they live in trees and nature, so, that's fun. And so Ren is like, they've been missing for 300 years. How am I going to find them? And Alanon's like, not my problem. So I assume she finds them because there is the Elf Queen of Shannara coming up after the Druid. So I'm assuming Walker also does his job. And I really liked Cole. He really stuck by Parr, even though he's got no magic. And he's like, if you're going, I'm going. We're both Elmsford. Sucks to be you. And there's a Lee. Morgan Lee has returned. So you got your Lees and your Creoles and your Elmsfords all mixed up. So yeah, it was really great. It's a nice continuation. It expands the world a bit more because this Federation is a huge problem. They want to take over everything. They're going to go fight the rock trolls and the gnomes and all kinds of stuff. They're probably going to try to go get the elves, even though they're missing. There's some, I'd say there's some horror-y, not jump scares, but there's some horror-y bits with the Shadow in. Specifically when Parr tries to go get the sword. Let's see. There's also a thing that the Federation uses to come after Padishar and his people. I call it Creeper? Something like that. It's made of metal, but also it's like a robot that has become sentient, and dwarves are terrified of them, and it's really great. I love it. I just love this world building. I believe I gave that 5 stars. Excuse me. Yeah, I did. Next is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I gave this 4 stars, only because I didn't like the ending. But this is about Ariadne, who helps Theseus with the Minotaur, and then he dumps her on an island and fucks off, and then eventually marries her sister Phaedra. This is in the Greek mythology. It's not a spoiler. And also in Greek mythology, Dionysus Dionysus. Dionysus, I believe is what they said in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's the only way I remember it. He shows up on the island and is like, hey Ariadne, let's marry. And she goes, okay. And then they have kids. And she becomes a goddess, maybe, in the mythology. I'm not 100% sure about that. So that, like, that stuff with Theseus is like the first, like, 10, 11 chapters or something. It, like, he dumps her pretty early on. Naxos is where it is. He dumps her, like, not even halfway through the book. And then she has, like, a nice little life with Dionysus and all of his ladies. I forgot what they're called. Not Maenads. Maenads? And she, like, just goes about her day, and then Phaedra goes about her day, and then there's just it's just a book about how men suck, basically, to women. Whether it's Theseus, who is a piece of shit, or Dionysus. So, I liked Ariadne. I liked her as a character. Didn't really. The other Phaedra, you could see where she was coming from and, like, what happened to her. There's, like, a whole nother thing that I don't want to spoil. But if you know Greek mythology, you know. And then there was something I did learn. Dionysus has a fight with Perseus, I think. They're, like, fighting because wherever Perseus is the king of, he won't let the Dionysian stuff happen. And I guess that was in a myth, and I didn't know that, so that was interesting. Like Perseus specifically. And then there's also a myth. There's, like, some other myths about Dionysus I didn't know, which I was interested to learn, but I just didn't like the ending. Like, he could have done... There was an ending that I thought could have been used that is from mythology, but I understand why she didn't. If that makes any sense. Oh my god, I don't want to spoil it, but there's the mythology out there. So if you, like, Google Ariadne and Dionysus, you're gonna find out. So, but I won't spoil it for you. Otherwise, I thought it was a really great book. The writing was really great and, like, lyrical. It felt like a translation of a Greek myth, if that makes sense. I don't know. It was good. I liked it. Read it. Read it. Read it. It makes me excited to read Electra, I think I have. I gotta read some more of my Greek. I gotta buy some more Greek myth books. Jeez, I've only got to 2, I think. And the final book I read was... I think this was the first book I read, actually. Because it's so big. Gideon the Ninth. And first of all, let me tell you how long it took me to realize those are sunglasses, not just part of the skull makeup. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There is horror, I would say. There's a lot of body horror. They're necromancers, so people die. There are skeletons. There's blood. There's ichor, I guess. Gideon is a badass. Harrow, who the next book is about, is also pretty damn cool. And this is definitely enemies to lovers, or friends at least. So Gideon is she's stuck on the 13th house planet, or the 9th house. 13th. I don't know why I got 13th. 9th house planet. She wants off. She desperately wants off. But Harrow won't let her. Nobody will let her for reasons. And Harrow is like, if you come with me to this thing where I can become a lictor, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, you can go. And Gideon's like, okay. But she has to pretend to be a cavalier, which they fight with these types of swords, the rapiers, and Gideon's only done a long sword. But anyway, she goes, she meets people that are great characters. I loved every character in here. Even the ones you're not supposed to. You're like, oh, you're stupid. But I liked them anyway. It was really well written. The humor came through. You know, it becomes a murder mystery, which also comes through. It becomes horror because there's like a tension with people dying and stuff. And just, yeah, I am in love with this. I have the other two, Harrow and Nona. Electo's the fourth one, I think. And that should wrap up everything, even though I don't know everything. So, and they say that Harrow isn't, it's written differently than Gideon, which I'm kind of excited about. But yeah, Gideon was a great character. She was pretty badass. Harrow was a great character. She was also pretty badass. All the necromancers were actually pretty badass. Even the cavaliers. So yeah. I don't know. You just gotta read it. If you don't mind a little, like, I read this for the horror prompt for the /R fantasy bingo. So this is about as horror-y as I'm going to get. So if your horror level is low like mine, I'd still recommend it. You could probably skim past some things. But yeah, definitely recommend it. And you could just, like, the way Gideon talks and her voice, it's just, you can tell. Like, each character has a distinctive voice, if that makes sense. It was really well written. So, yes, I'm excited to continue that series. And those were the 6 books, apparently, I read. Not 5. In September. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.